Hey folks, it's Tuesday. Time for Tidbit Tuesday. There was once a college kid who had his eye on a girl. He finally worked up the nerve to ask her out to dinner and a movie, and she accepted. So he picked her up. They went to the restaurant, didn't say two words the entire meal. Finally, he paid the check, got in the car, and went to the movie theater. And on the way, he said, "What do you think of the night so far?" She said, "I really don't feel like we had a connection." She said, I don't know what's wrong." He said, "Well, I feel the same thing. So what we could do is turn around, go back, and go out with our own friends, maybe salvage the night." And she was like, "Oh, if you don't mind, that would be great." So they turned around, and on the way back, they just started talking and talking and talking. And finally, he said, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And she said, "I would love to." And so they pulled into a little parking area and took off up into the woods. And the leaves were a little damp and slippery, and it'd slip every once in a while. And finally, they came to an old dead tree that had fallen against another tree. And she walked up to it and sat down. It was perfect height. And he walked around her to sit down next to her, slipped again, and she caught him. He sat down, and they talked for hours. Finally, she was like, "I've got exams. I got to get home." So he dropped her off, and then they had a second date and a third date. Then they graduated college, got married, had kids. One night, they were watching an interview with a murderer. And the interviewer said, "Was there ever a time that you almost got caught and stopped your killing spree?" He said, "Yeah, a few years before I got caught. There was one night I was taking a dead body up into the woods to dispose of it. And she got heavy. And so finally I sat down to catch my breath, and then I heard voices. So I crawled under the log that I was sitting on, pulled the dead body in next to me, and I saw her hand still sticking out, and the girl sat down above me. And the man walked around, stepped on the girl's hand, and slipped. And I thought I was going to get caught just then. But he sat down, and they started talking forever. I was able to slowly pull that hand back in. Finally, I thought that they would never leave, and they left. So then I was able to get up and go about my business and get rid of the body. And that serial killer who was being interviewed was Ted Bundy. And that is your tidbit here on Tuesday. Have a great week.